What's up, guys? Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another video to my channel. Anyways, guys, here to talk about some NFL football. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Washington Redskins. The game itself wasn't that exciting of a game. We saw that Robert Griffin III, though, he has some mobility back, so that's a good sign for Redskins fans that were wondering if his mobility is kind of He has some mobility back in this game. He showed some of that. Not to mention Alfred Morris, he had a pretty decent game. Tony Romo, he didn't have a great game like he did against Denver, but he did pretty well, I thought. I thought he did a very good job in this game. Not to mention the Cowboys running back depth with Joseph Randle and Philip Tanner was shown tonight, and I felt they did pretty well, especially Joseph Randle. Even though he didn't get a lot of touches, I felt he did pretty well with the touches he got. Cole Beasley has shown that he's a good third down option, especially if you need that little speedster. He really showcased his talent tonight. I think a lot of people are now going to remember Cole Beasley's name by the end of the night. Well, if you're a hardcore football fan, if you're a casual fan, you're like, who the fuck is Cole Beasley? But other than that, I felt this game was kind of Cowboys suffered a lot of major injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and also they suffered DeMarco Murray's loss. But even then, the Dallas Cowboys, they did very well getting pressure on Robert Griffin III. And the thing about it is this. When I look at this NFC East, and I saw the Cowboys tonight, and how well they handled the Washington Redskins, I always think to myself, you know, last season, the Washington Redskins, let's face it, guys, had their way with the Dallas Cowboys. They pretty much dominated the Dallas Cowboys in all facets of the game last year. Both of them. Now, all of a sudden, the Dallas Cowboys dominated the Redskins. They dominated them on the special teams. Dwayne Harris, returned one special team for a touchdown and also had, that one big 98-yard gain. I mean, seriously, like, special teams were huge for the Cowboys tonight. And I think to myself, how come we can't see this from the Cowboys every single week? How come? They're one of the most inconsistent teams in football. And when I look at the NFC East, it is one of the weakest divisions in football. I ain't going to deny that. But what I will say is it's one of the most entertaining divisions in football. And yes, I know people are going to say, but Chase, what about the NFC North? I mean, Lions, Bears, Packers, oh my. Yes, the Lions, Bears, and Packers. Great teams to watch. Great, interesting storylines there. But honestly, when you compare the NFC North in star power and what you want to see more, how many NFC North matchups are you really that excited for? Maybe the first Bears and Packers matchup until you see Jay Cutler throw his usual 3 interceptions against the Packers and then the Packers win that game. The Lions, yeah, they got Reggie Bush, Megatron, Ryan Broyles, all those guys on offense. And yet they can still barely score points. I think Joseph Fourier, Christian Fourier's little nephew, caught 3 touchdowns today, man. Like, the Lions, honestly, not really feeling them. Don't really care about them. Megatron's cool, but the rest of the Lions, what's interesting about them? What's interesting about the Detroit Lions? Tell me. What makes me want to sit down and watch a Detroit Lions game besides Megatron and Reggie Bush and the dynamic offense? The Chicago Bears. I'm a Bears fan, okay? Let me tell you guys something. Being a Bears fan, you don't get exciting football. That is the truth. It's kind of weird seeing a quarterback throw the football down the field and seeing receivers catch it and shit. It's kind of weird watching it. But it's not exciting to me. It's not like there's any storylines in it. It's like, oh, can the Bears beat the Green Bay Packers? Can the Detroit Lions beat the Green Bay Packers? Not exciting storylines to me. But when I look at the NFC East, even though it's weaker than the NFC North, so much exciting stuff going on there. You have the Dallas Cowboys. Let's face it, people. As much as you want to deny it, they are America's team, baby. How many times do you walk down the street or just walk around in general or drive in your car and you see that motherfucker in a Cowboys jersey? You see that one dude in the Cowboys jersey. The Cowboy, or a Cowboys t-shirt. It doesn't even need to be a jersey. The Cowboys, everyone has an opinion on them. You either love them, you hate them, you despise them. It doesn't even matter. Tony Romo himself, just watching him play. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I enjoy watching Tony Romo play just because you can either get something brilliant or you get something disastrous in him. And like my friend Arden Sports Talk likes to say, he likes to say football is one of the greatest reality TV shows ever. And it is. Tony Romo, he plays like such a great part in the Dallas Cowboys. You don't know what he's going to do. Is Tony Romo going to lead that game-winning drive? Or is he going to pull that Romoception out of his ass that we know that he normally pulls off? See, the thing is, to me personally, I honestly think the NFC East is just so interesting overall. The Giants, even though they're 0-6, they're being talked about more as an 0-6 team than the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are you hearing from Tampa Bay? All you're hearing Darrelle Revis is like, yeah, man, hate my fucking coach, man. And then all you hear from Jacksonville. What do you hear from Jacksonville? What do you hear from Jacksonville? All we know, all us hardcore fans, we're just saying, hey, they're in the race for Bridgewater. They're going for Teddy Bridgewater. The Giants, we're just like, what's going on? This is dysfunctional. I know what's wrong with the Giants. They just don't have the players that are healthy enough, and honestly, they feel kind of outdated compared to the Redskins and the Eagles and the Cowboys, in my personal opinion, on offense and defense. They just need to get better on both sides of the ball. That's my personal opinion. They don't have a running back. Their defensive ends are up there in age besides JPP. Honestly, they still need to get better in the secondary too. Prince Akamukanara ain't doing shit for me. I'm being dead honest here. I'm not seeing anything from Prince Akamukanara. So, the Giants themselves, they're an interesting team. Now, the Giants, honestly, let's just get them rid of the NFC East because they ain't winning this division. You Giants fans need to win 10 games. You need to win your next 10 games to win this division. I'm not saying you need to be 10-6 to win the NFC East. This ain't last year. But what I'm saying is you would possibly need to win your next 10 games because 2 more losses and I'm already striking you out. You know what? Maybe even 3 more losses. I'll give you guys a 7-9 record. I'll give you a benefit of the doubt that you can get to 7-9. But you need to win these next 10 games, Giants fans. But as it stands, I'm counting you out. Then I look at the Eagles. What's interesting about the Eagles? Chip Kelly's offense. One of the offenses that everyone was just like masturbating over, pretty much week 1, and now all of a sudden everyone's like, it's just a gimmick. But the thing is, people still like watching it. It's one of the most fun offenses to watch. Their defense, for as much shit as it gets for being crappy, they do pretty well. They don't do great, but they do pretty well. And they're one of the wild card teams in this division. I'm not saying wild card for the playoffs because I think the other 2 NFC North teams will probably take the wild card, whether it's the Lions or the Bears or both. But they're one of those wild card teams. You're like, which Eagles are we going to see today? Are we going to see the really, really super fast Philadelphia Eagles that's going to put up 30 to 40 points? Or are we going to see the Eagles that give us 15 points but win in a close margin? The Eagles are very inconsistent. And I really think it's based off if the Eagles play a really top-notch QB. When they face someone that is a top-notch level quarterback, they struggle against. But when they face off against someone, let's just say, like, I'll use RG3 as an example. And RG3, they seem to flourish a little bit more. And so really, to be honest, the Philadelphia Eagles, although not the best team in football by standards on paper, they're still an interesting team to watch because you don't know which Philadelphia Eagles team are you going to get. They're a 3-3 team. Should they be 3-3? No, not really. But hey, they're 3-3. A lot of you guys that are fans of teams like the Texans, maybe even the Falcons, or hell, maybe even the Panthers wish that your team was 3-3 right now. Even though the Eagles, they don't really play like the record they have, at least they're getting the job done. And that's all that matters in football. Wins or losses, doesn't matter who you play. At least you get the job done. And the Washington Redskins, now technically they're 3rd in the division. Eagles right now are tied for 1st with the Dallas Cowboys. The Washington Redskins, they're just interesting because you want to know, is RG3 coming back? Like I said earlier in the video, I feel like RG3 is going to come back. But the thing about the Redskins is they were in this similar situation last year where the Redskins were done. Just write them off. They ain't going to win this game. They're done. And the Redskins pulled off this miraculous comeback, and it was like all crazy, and the Redskins made the playoffs, and oh my goodness. So the Redskins, they have that hot and cold mentality where you don't know when they're going to spring up, That's what makes this division so exciting. That's what I love about the NFC East. It's the most exciting division in football just because all the cast of players and characters, like Jerry Jones himself. You can't go without a Cowboys football game just wondering what the fuck you think Jerry Jones' reaction is. And when you see Jerry Jones, you're either laughing at his dumb ass or you're just like, yeah, that's my man. That's my man, Jerry Jones. You know it. You're either laughing at him or stuff like that, That's what makes this division so interesting. Just everything about this division sounds more fun than the NFC North. Yeah, it's not as good as the NFC North. I'm not saying it is. Probably half the teams in that division could not handle the NFC North teams like the Packers or the Bears or the Detroit Lions. It's funny because the NFC East is actually facing the NFC North this year, but you get what I'm saying. This division is interesting to watch, and I love watching NFC East football. I don't care what the score is. I just want to hear the storylines. There's more storylines out of the NFC East than there is the NFC North. Because in the NFC North, like I said, the storylines are either, oh, can the Bears beat the Packers? Aaron Rodgers is so damn great. Brandon Marshall's wearing lime green shoes. Reggie Bush is flourishing as a superstar today. It's like, okay, cool. It's not like Dallas needs to win this game, otherwise they're not making the Super Bowl or something. Like, the NFC East just feels more bigger, more natural. And I want to know, do you guys agree with me down below? What do you guys think about the NFC East? And who do you guys think is winning it? Personally, for me, I got the Dallas Cowboys still winning this division. I had the Dallas Cowboys winning this division during preseason. I said, you know what? I'm locking in on the Dallas Cowboys winning this division and making it back to the playoffs. I feel like they have the talent on offense, especially with Terrence Williams out of Baylor, coming out from there. He's been miraculous in my personal opinion. Even though he had that one fucked up play against the San Diego Superchargers, I still think he's fine. I still think he's fine as a player. Terrence Williams has come out well. If DeMarco Murray comes back, I feel like he's been having a good season. I mean, stats-wise, yeah, people will be like, it's not that good. But if you watch the games, he's been doing pretty solid in the running game. I feel Des Bryant, he's been doing fucking awesome. Sean Lee, this dude healthy, man, he's scary. He comes from linebacker university, and if you don't know what the fuck that is, go do your research, sons. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning the NFC East. Who do you have winning the NFC East? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like me, subscribe down below. Like this video, dislike this video. Who's your favorite team in the NFC East? Who do you have winning the NFC East? I'm out of here. Time to go to bed. Peace!